Happy holidays to everybody. Excited about the opportunity to go play in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. I know our guys are fired up about it. Got a great opponent in ODU. As you look at it, they had a great finish to their season. I think they won their last 5 ball games. Got on a pretty good roll there, and know just a little bit that we've been able to watch from a film standpoint. Those guys, they do a tremendous job. Play well defensively, very sound in what they do, hard to run the football against. Have done a good job of, creating some takeaways and putting guys behind the chains. You look at them offensively, obviously with some transition on that side. But you see what they're trying to accomplish. They got weapons. They do a good job up front. A couple different quarterbacks that are in there. So we've got our hands full, but just looking at the opportunity to extend this season and get another game, our guys worked extremely hard to make that happen. Had a great win at SMU at their place, and the guys have really dedicated themselves and been disciplined about what we do and how we do it, and continue to get better throughout the year, and just found a way to go win games. And so, extremely happy for them, excited for them, and looking forward to the opportunity to get on the field with them one more time.
Questions for Coach?
Philip, some people might say there are too many bowl games, but when you see two teams that really
– I can't hear her.
Nope.
I mean, I hear her talking, but I can't actually hear her. How do I turn the volume up on this one? There it is.
Yep.
I think. All right, Kelly, try again, please, ma'am.
When you have two teams that fought so hard to get to bowl eligibility, does it kind of show like how much it means to the two teams and why, when some people say there are too many bowl games, like obviously it means a lot to you guys to be able to play in this.
Yeah, it really does. Like you stated, these two teams fought extremely hard to get the opportunity to play in this game. And so I'm sure both teams are wanting to finish it in the right way. People out there that say there are too many bowl games, that's a farce in my opinion. This is you work extremely hard to get to this point, and guys understand the amount of work that goes into it, and get the opportunity to play one more game, to experience what the bowl experience is all about. Our guys, I know, are excited about it and ready to get practices in, but also get to Myrtle Beach and get an opportunity to experience that bowl, all the different things that kind of go into it, whether that's practice, whether that's being at a different site. The experience of the bowl is something that's special to every college football player.
Is it kind of back to what a normal bowl experience is? Obviously last year was a little bit different because of COVID, but is it back to normal? Yeah, it's a lot more like what it used to be. So having the opportunity to get there a couple of days in advance, getting to do some things as a team. Once you get there, they've got some things planned out for us. And so, yes, it is more like what bowls have been in the past. In terms of your personnel, do you expect like all of your guys are going to, you're not going to have any opt-outs, you're going to have guys healthy? Do you expect to have like a full team?
Well, I hope so. Obviously there's a couple of questions out there, yet I think for the most part, I think our guys are locked in and wanting to play. And obviously it's a different type of year and different time of year, and there's a lot of things kind of factoring into that. But I think for the most part, we'll have our guys ready.
Kelly hit on the narrative that there's too many bowl games. That's kind of a popular one. Then there's also the popular narrative that bowl games don't mean anything. Can you maybe speak on why bowl games are important, maybe for you, but then maybe for your program as well?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that kind of go into that answer, TJ. I mean, let's talk about it from the player standpoint. Just, the bowl experience of itself, getting another opportunity to step on the field together and finish this thing out in a way that you want to. Just the privilege of knowing that there's only going to be, X amount of bowls that happen. It's an elite part of that. It's a reward for the season that you've had and the experience that you've had throughout your college career. I think bowls still to the college football player are extremely important, and guys understand what that is and the feeling about that. From a program standpoint, obviously this bowl is a little bit earlier than some of the others that we've had, but you get an opportunity to get 15 more practices in, which is basically just like you get in spring ball. So the opportunity to continue to keep developing your football team, especially your young guys at this time of year, guys that have probably been on scout teams for most of the year, giving them an opportunity to kind of get back in the flow of what you do offensively and defensively. And those things carry over into what you're going to do starting in January and working towards spring ball. So that's a big factor for your program as well as for your young guys as they kind of continue to grow and mature. And then, probably lastly, but doesn't mean it last in the category of your deal is, the opportunity to play again on a national type stage when you get to bowl season. A lot of people are going to see that. It's going to help you in recruiting, the opportunity for recruits to see you, to see what it's like in that bowl type of experience. And especially if you go win that one, it carries forward momentum as you get closer to the second signing day there in February.
We haven't talked since the SMU game. So good. Talking for 3-4 weeks about having to win out to make a bowl, but then actually doing it. Is that the attitude or the emotional factor for the team? Are they're feeling pretty confident? They're pretty excited about what they were able to accomplish to kind of get one more game? Yeah,
I think, we've been kind of in this playoff system, the way we've talked about it around here for a month or more. And, our guys really have locked into that part of it. And the opportunity to know, hey, I got to go 1-0 this week, and then I got to do it again, and then I got to do it again, and everything's on the line. Our guys have been playing underneath that umbrella, so obviously being able to accomplish that and have the opportunity to go play one more game and knowing that still the same type of scenario. We want to finish this thing out on the right note, and we want to, play like we've been playing, but continue to get better, continue to raise the standard, and understanding that we've got a great opponent in front of us, and we're going to have to play really well to make that happen.
Philip, the last 2 years, you've had really grueling circumstances facing your kids for two different reasons, COVID a year ago and getting through all that mess. And then this season, the rough start where you really had to overcome a hole that you dug early. I'm wondering if you could share with me what a coach's secret sauce is in getting kids to stay sort of above all that and stay locked in and maintain positive vibes and hope, because you've obviously been able to do that the last 2 years. Not every coach is successful in doing that. How are you successful?
I think it starts in the way we prepare, kind of who we are from a program standpoint, what we've kind of built our program on, and that's been a lot of hard work and sacrifice and guys understanding that, we're going to coach you hard, but we're going to love you hard. And it's about those relationships that you try to build within your program. I think our leadership in our locker room, our leadership on our coaching staff, just guys understanding and not overreacting, not knee-jerk reacting to certain things that happen throughout a season. But guys just being locked in to what we've got to do today, what we got to do this week, and continuing to point towards the things that we have to accomplish, and knowing how close we are and the difference between, winning and losing a game can come down to inches, can come down to one play, can come down to one circumstance, and understanding how close we are. And guys just staying locked into it. I don't know that there's a secret sauce. I think it's, a lot to do with the kids and our young men in this program. And I think it's a lot to do with the way we coach and the way our coaches handle situations.
When did you know that mentality had set in that you're talking about right now? I take it couldn't have been immediate, right? When you got here, when did you get a sense that had seeped into your program?
I think you start laying the foundation of it early, and just our first spring ball here and some of the things we did, and the same thing in fall camp. And, I think back to our first game, against Florida Atlantic, and we went in overtime, and that helped set some precedents to some things. But also understanding, we had some rougher years in there, some tough years in there where we were pretty young and guys were having to play and having to step up, and just seeing those guys continue to mature and grow and fight through some adversity and knowing, hey, on the other side of it is what the reward is going to be, but it's not going to come easy. Somebody's not just going to hand it to you. You got to go take it. You got to go earn it, and you got to work for it. And I think our guys have bought into that mentality and continuing to strive to make ourselves better each and every game, each and every practice, knowing that, what our standard is and how we want to continue to raise that bar.
I take it that you can ask your players something that you don't yourself reflect. This kind of mentality, was it a coaches who imbued it in you? Was it your family? When did let me first ask, this does reflect you, I take it, correct?
Well, I hope so.
right, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's obviously part of my makeup. But I think it's also part of our coaches' makeup, the guys that we have on our staff and the guys that pour into these young men each and every day. And I think that's part of our recruiting too. Guys that understand that may have a little chip on their shoulder, may have a situation where, they've had to really strive and work for some of the things that they've wanted in their lives. And so I think that's kind of our mentality. Understanding that, I don't need all the bells and whistles and all the frilly things to make something be great. I'm going to come here, I'm going to go to work and have the opportunity to compete at a really high level and make best player that I can be, the best person I can be, and continue to strive for that.
Were you like that as a player?
I had to be. I didn't have any choice. I mean, just trying to get somebody to take a chance on you. It's the way my parents raised me, and we worked for everything that we got. We didn't have a lot, but the things that we got in life, we worked for, and you cherish the things that you work for more. Somebody's just going to give you something. You may not cherish it or take care of it as well as if it's something that you've had to sweat and pour yourself into to have the opportunity to accomplish it.
I appreciate that.
Coach, I think it's official. I think TCU put it out. Can you speak on Coach Gillespie taking the DC job there at TCU?
Yeah, thankful for what Coach Gillespie has been able to bring to our program. He was a guy that came in my first initial year, was able to hire and coach our linebackers, and then able to elevate him to our defensive coordinator, and has done a tremendous job for me, for our program, and for our young men here. Wish him and his family all the best. Obviously got an opportunity at a different school, and felt like that was the best move for him and his family. So we're happy for him. Thank him for everything he's done here, and obviously looking forward to the future and what it holds for him and for us here.
Yeah, speaking on that, I know it's pretty fresh, and these things take time, but what are you looking for in hiring a new defensive coordinator? Are you is it something you're looking to do within? Is it, I know you may not know the answers to that, but what goes into a search like that?
Well, I mean, there's so many different factors that go into that, right? Coach Carlton Buckles, who's our passing game coordinator, he will be calling our defense during the bowl game. Coach Buckles and I have sat down and had several conversations already, obviously, at this point. We're going to look and see how this part of it plays out. Obviously, I still would like to be in an odd front-based defense. I think that's the best thing for us here. We've got the personnel for that. I think from a recruiting standpoint, it makes sense. I really like what we do in our Okie-based right now, and so we will stay in those lines as we continue to move forward. But that being said, like you said, it's still early in this process. And right now we want to make sure that we're getting our guys ready and prepared for this bowl game. And then we'll continue to keep this search going and figure out what the next step's going to be as we get a little further along.
I'm sorry, I'm stealing, so I apologize. But not to get – I've had this discussion about Jim Knowles at OSU leaving and his defense being so unique. What Coach Gillespie did is pretty unique. You mentioned the odd front stuff. So does that make the process of hiring someone a little more difficult, knowing it's not like you're just bringing in a guy to run a pretty normal-looking defense, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're unique in what we do and how we do it. There's other people that are running the Okie front. I think the way we schematically do some things is unique for us. And so we've got some guys here on staff that are really well-versed in what we do, and we're part of developing that, right? I mean, and when we kind of got into this mode, honestly, you know, Coach Young was kind of still in that part and in that role, and he and Gillespie and Coach Olson and several others were kind of in the forming stages of it. And then we took ideas, kind of smashed all that together, and then continued to develop as we worked our way through it. So what we do is unique. It does make it a little more difficult. You're not just going to go out and get another guy from another school that's going to know exactly what we do and how we do it. So that provides some different variables for us to kind of work through as we do.
Philip, how much of a challenge is this time of year when there's movement on staffs and signing day around the corner and you're trying to prepare for a bowl all at the same time?
Yeah, and all of that on a pretty short leash right here with the bowl game right on top of us. So, yeah, it is challenging with so many different factors that are going on right now. You've got things that are going on from a coaching standpoint. You got recruiting going on. You've got the portal that is going on as well. And then you got the bowl game and prep for that. Guys are sitting here going through finals, so you're trying to make schedules to kind of match up with all of those things. So it's a difficult time of year, but it's an exciting time of year as well.
Ideally, would you have hires made before signing day, or what is your timeline?
Yeah, some of that will just kind of be with some of the applicants that we're talking to and people that we're talking to. I mean, there's different circumstances on both sides of that, right? Obviously, we would like to move along as quickly as we can. Sometimes their schedules don't match up that way either. They may be playing in bowl games and other things, and so there's a lot of factors that kind of go into it. We'll move as quickly as we can through the process, but we definitely want to make good decisions, good hires, guys that are going to fit within our staff, fit within our program, and that are going to add to what we already have.
Philip, where are you on the early signing period? There seems to be a movement to sort of reevaluate that among your industry right now.
Yeah, you know, I can see it really on both sides of it. You know, I do like the early signing period. I think it has benefited us over the last couple of years. Just from the standpoint of, you know, guys that have been committed to you for several months, 6 months, 8 months, whatever that might be, being able to get those guys signed in December, knowing that you've got that part of it accomplished. You know, you may still be searching and looking and needing to add some things over the next month before the second signing date comes in. That part of it's been a good scenario for us, in my opinion, here. That being said, I do think this early signing period has had an effect with coaches and jobs opening up quicker, things needing to be turned over quicker from the standpoint, whether you're talking about a head coach or you're talking about an assistant coach, guys trying to make things happen before that first signing day, and it's really speed up the process. And I don't know if that part is good, in my opinion. So there's got to be a happy medium somewhere in there, whether you take this signing day and push it a little bit further into it, where it may be at, you know, closer to the 1st of January or just after January 1st, somewhere in that nature. You know, obviously there's a lot of people that are probably smarter than I am that are working through those processes and kind of seeing what that looks like. But I'm sure we will be discussing this as we get to our head coaches meeting at the convention there in January.
Coach, when were you informed from Coach Gillespie that he decided to make the move to TCU?
He called me, that evening late when we started discussing it.
Did you try to persuade him at all to stay on staff, or were you just?
I'm sorry?
Was there any possibility of getting him to stay on staff, or was there?
Yeah, we had our discussions. Obviously, I'm not going to go into that part of it, but we had our discussions, and would have loved for him to be able to stay here, but obviously, had some opportunities and decided to go a different direction.
Any other questions for Coach?
Just one quick question. Obviously, you've known Jeff Levy for a long time. How happy were you to see him, get back in this part of the country?
Yeah, happy for Jeff. I got to talk to him the other night. He gave me a call, and we've got to visit for a little bit. Excited for him and his family kind of coming back home. And obviously he played there coming out of Andrews. And so known Jeff forever. And even when he was in high school, we actually coached against him and his dad. And Jeff was playing tackle and had a tremendous team during that run. But really happy for Jeff. I think he'll do an outstanding job there. Obviously, he's excited about the opportunity to kind of come back home and work and get his family back kind of in this area. And so anxious to see him and get a chance. Hadn't really got a chance to sit down with him over the last couple of years just with everything going on. So excited for him and his family to be back in this area.
Really quick too, sorry. Mentioned last year you didn't get the bowl experience. The bowl before that was in Miami. And so I'm curious, do you guys get to enjoy the beach side of things? You mentioned the bowl experience and having fun with the kids. Is that something, or is it pretty well structured, the schedule during these things?
Yeah, it's always got some structure to it, but there's some downtime, free time in there. We try to make sure that the guys have the opportunity to do that. And so, I personally have never been to Myrtle Beach. The Miami Beach experience, our guys got to go out on the beach and they enjoyed that part of it. I'm sure they're going to do that as well at Myrtle Beach. So I hope the weather is nice and warm. I don't know. It's a little bit further north than what Miami was. So we'll see what the weather looks like when we get there.
Hey, Philip, real quick, assistant coach question related to the salary pool you have, because that's become such a big topic in the hiring cycle. Again, I know the resources are relative for you. I get that, but is what you have in terms of an assistant pool where you'd like it? Are you talking to Rick about where that needs to be to help your cause, or is that an ongoing process?
Yeah, it's always an ongoing process, and Rick and I have had great discussions about what we're looking for in our program and what we're continuing to build here. And as college football continues to change and move and our conference with all the things that have happened in it. And so those discussions always are happening, and Rick's trying to do what's best for this athletic program, for this university, and he and President Carson are, I think, on the same page as we continue to try to continue to elevate this university and this athletic program. So those have been good discussions, and we'll leave it at that.
Any other questions? Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that, if I don't get to talk to you before then, and hope you get to spend time with your families. All right. Thanks.